When you think of a pirate game, you probably don't think about a 3D platformer starring a little girl, but Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara is here to smash gender stereotypes and also provide a really fun and absolutely adorable experience. The game is kind of like if Wind Waker met Mario 3D Land. There is a vast ocean for you to explore, and by collecting maps, you open up more parts of the ocean, revealing islands which serve as the game's levels, and mini-games that have you diving down to collect sunken treasures. It was really fun exploring the ocean and uncovering new locales, but the star of the show is the level design. There is a big emphasis on speed here. The levels are relatively small, and Koa could roll as soon as she lands from a jump, triggering a speed boost and a longer jump. This creates a really nice sense of speed and momentum as you go through these little micro levels, most which only take a few minutes to complete, if that. To further add to the speed, there are several levels where you race against other people, and even some Sonic-ish sections that have you running along, hitting speed boosts as you go. There are also lots of collectibles. Just little shells which serve as the game's currency, hidden items, and medals awarded for completing the levels in certain time frames. None of these are mandatory, but you could use them to buy various outfits and decorations for your ship. Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara is a game that nobody talks about, but is just a joy from start to finish. Exploring the vast ocean gives off a nice Wind Waker vibe, and the level design is very tight, and the emphasis on speed really makes it fun, challenging yourself to get better times. Definitely a game you should check out if you love 3D platformers. Gori Cuddly Carnage is the kind of game that would have felt right at home on the PlayStation 2. You start off with a really silly story. All the toys are made into bioweapons. You are a bioweapon also in the form of an adorable little cat. The professor who created you was told to destroy you, but she could not. You're too cute. She tried to hide you away, and when she disappeared, you go on a quest to find her. Your kitty does not talk, but his sidekick is a hoverboard and a supercomputer. They do more than enough talking for everybody, with your kitty just kind of adding in little meows and purrs. The dialogue here is funny and well written. It definitely kept me chuckling. The environments here are very post-apocalyptic. The evil toys have wiped out all of humans, so a lot of the environments are things you'd see in your typical zombie games. You just replace the zombies with mutant unicorn toys and other weird toy-themed bioweapons, with the main villain being an evil bear jack-in-the-box. The game has a very unique feel to it, as you are constantly on the hoverboard. Platforming mixes in grail grinding and shredding on walls, along with your more traditional platformy stuff, like double jumps and air dashes. It was always fun, and I can't say I've really played anything like it. Combat is also very unique. As you're watching the footage, you're probably scratching your head thinking, what the heck is going on here? It's completely chaotic, and just about every fight has you square off against mobs of zombie unicorns. Your overboard also has blades attached, and you get a club, rocket launcher, and a shield that doubles as a battering ram. Different attacks work best on different enemies, and combat has a lot of nice visual flair, as there's blood everywhere, and fatalities are extra bloody and give you some health back. Gori Cuddly Carnage is honestly unlike anything I've ever played before. It's a nice mix of over-the-top violence, fun platforming, and that silly early 2000s era storyline. Definitely a game worth checking out. It's the devil's birthday and he wants a pie. You play as a little low-level demon tasked with gathering disgusting ingredients to make the devil his hell pie, which is what this game is called. Personally, I would have thought the devil would be more of a poontang pie kind of guy, but this game taught me he's more into maggots and virgin blood. Probably good to know for my inevitable trip there later. Early on, you meet a chubby cherub named Nugget and chain him to your horn so he cannot escape. This cherub also acts as a grappling hook that you could use to swing even with nothing present. You upgrade him as the game goes on, increasing the number of swings available before you have to land. This was the highlight of the game for me, and it was really fun swinging around levels. It almost made me feel like Spider-Man in the old cartoons, where he just kind of attached his web to the sky to swing around. The airtime you could rack up is really impressive, and the levels are large enough to maximize this mechanic. Hell Pie is a pretty big game. Sin Incorporated acts as the game's main hub. I like that Hell is portrayed as an office space, pretty close to the truth, with various elevators taking you to different levels. The levels here are large and sprawling, packed with a ton of collectibles and really interesting locales, including the Pearly Gates, the game's final level. Each large level also has 3 sub-levels. These are more linear and focusing on challenging platforming rather than exploration, and you are rewarded with an ingredient for completing them. Hell Pie is a really fun and quirky 3D platformer with interesting gimmicks and great level design. I do have to warn you, if you are looking for a physical copy of this game, it is produced by Super Rare Games. The initial run had a game-breaking bug on the card. Super Rare issued another version that works just fine, but if you're going hunting for this game, make sure you buy the patched version, not the first, as it is not able to be completed without a download. I think Super Mario Sunshine is an underrated game. It just does not get the same reverence that the other games in the series get. I personally found the flood mechanic really fun. I loved hovering around and it was always oddly cathartic just walking around the bright, colorful levels cleaning up all the gunk. Smurfs Mission Vileleaf is the first of 3 Smurf platformers on Switch. It seems crazy to me that there are so many Smurfs games on the Switch and there were none on the NES, but here we are. There is a poison spreading throughout the land, corrupting everything it touches, and the Smurfs are here to save the day. They create a little backpack called the Smurfizer. I mean, come on, what would you expect it to be called? That operates much like the backpack in Mario Sunshine. It could spray a little vapor that cleans up all the poison, purifying everything it touches. It could also be used to hover, and as the game progresses, you unlock several more moves that increase your mobility, such as the Smurfizer Power Dash. The game does a great job of capturing the feel of the Smurfs. Each level has you playing a different Smurf. There are no functional differences between them, but it's cool to switch back and forth between series favorites like Hefty and Smurfette. I also love the sense of scale. Since you're playing as a tiny Smurf, everything else is proportionally big. This is especially prominent when running through Gargamelon's castle. The game is fairly linear. There's always a marker telling you where to go next. There are secrets to found in each level, but you could always fall back on the arrow if you get lost. Level design is great, and does a nice job of maximizing the use of your Smurfizer. It's also really satisfying cleaning up the areas. I don't know what it is about cleaning up all the gunk and just watching the environment sparkle. It just triggers a nice dopamine hit, just like it did in Super Mario Sunshine. Smurfs Mission Vileleaf is a really solid 3D platformer that is fun for the whole family. I loved the Smurfs as a kid, so this was a nice nostalgic romp for me, but the charming characters, fun gameplay would be just as appealing to a younger kid with no nostalgia for the franchise. If the first Smurfs game is Mario Sunshine, then this game, Smurfs Dream, is Super Mario 3D World. Gargamel put some kind of spell on the Smurf's food, putting the whole village to sleep, allowing him to track the location of the village through their dreams. You play as a nameless Smurf, entering the astral plane to free the Smurfs from this curse. Since the entire game takes place in the dream world, the game is not bound by reality. Each level has you entering the mind of a Smurf. The game is really trippy, with a really mellow soundtrack appropriate for a dream world. Levels are fitting to each of the Smurf's subconsciousness. For example, you first enter the mind of Chef Smurf and have to find him a magical onion to wake him up, while Smurfette's level has you freeing her from her dark alter ego trying to take over her mind. The game just kind of gets everything right. You have absolutely no camera control, which seems like a recipe for disaster, but there was not a single instance in this game where I struggled to see what I needed to see. The preset camera angles do a fantastic job of keeping up with the action, and the gameplay here is really fun. You have a jump and can flutter your legs like Yoshi to extend your leap. You could also enter a bubble mid-jump, which could be used to hover over moving platforms or extend your length with the right momentum. You could even lunge out of the bubble, further increasing your jump distance. The game is constantly throwing new gimmicks at you. Different tools like a hammer and a honey gun really mix up the gameplay, and the level design is equally varied. There's even a stealth level where you lose your pants and are chasing them while sneaking around the other Smurfs. Failure to be sneaky enough leaves you to get laughed at by all the Smurfs. And while the thought of this type of level in a game like this sounds terrible, it is really well executed and kind of plays like the Scarecrow fight from Batman Arkham. Smurfs Dream is criminally underrated. I know it's made by Microids and people hate them, but give this game a chance. It's a really solid 3D platformer with some really nice gameplay gimmicks and fun, varied gameplay. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. There are so many amazing games out there that fly under the radar. I release a video every 2 weeks trying to highlight some of these games. If there's a genre of game you want me to cover, leave a comment down below. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos and any more hidden gems.